Hi everyone, I'm Felicima Backman, and this is a tutorial of how I achieved my content using Capcut. So I first started off selecting my pictures. So because I had the content in mind, so I knew what I was doing. I knew that from this picture, I needed this video as the next. I needed this picture as the next. So as you can see, I was selecting the people of Uganda. Then I moved on to their food, their traditional food and their drinks. I selected everything, and I also selected their traditional group that is in Uganda, if I must say. Yeah, so I selected their traditional troupe and some of the contemporary dance that is found in Uganda. And we have this popular dance group that is the Little Kids. They are also originated from Uganda. They are very, very popular on all social media platforms. So then I went on to also select the other content that I'll need for my video. So I first selected the infrastructures that I have, or they have in Uganda. Yes, then I went on to also select the places that you can visit when you go to Uganda. Yeah, so as you can see, I was selecting everything. Then I added on to add the safari that is found in Uganda, that is the lion that was roaring. Then I moved on to the landscape or the beautiful city of Uganda. So when I was in, I added everything together. But before that, I added the outro of my video. Yes, or the outro of my content. Then I added everything. Then I started to do my editing. So I make sure that everything was in line. If I've added every picture, every video, everything that I wanted to use as my content for the 30 seconds video, I make sure that everything was selected appropriately. So as you can see, I was checking everything. Yeah, so I was checking everything till the very end of the whole content. So I first started to do my transitions. Yes, so I did my transitions. I made sure the transitions were complementing every picture, every video. Yes. So this is how I started to add my transitions. Yes. So I first added my transitions, then I moved on to extract my background song that I got from Uganda. It was actually a beat, so I made sure that it was in line with my content so that it will be positioned at the right place. So I added some sound effects. As you can see, I was dragging some sound effects to it. Yes, I was dragging some sound effects, so I had to position it as where I wanted it to be. Yeah. So at a point, I was told that my video was so short, so I needed to do some adjustment to it, which I did. As you can see, I was doing some adjustment to it so that I can position the extracted sound to where it's supposed to be, so that it will be in line, or it will be in line with whatever I was doing. So I went back. As you can see, I've already added my transitions. So I went back to check if everything was correct, if everything was in line. Then I also extracted the second sound effect. As you can see, I was dragging it to where I wanted it to be, that is the cultural troupe, because there needed to be a sound to depict what they were doing. So I did everything, and I positioned it as where it's supposed to begin to the end of the dance. Their cultural troupe that is found in Uganda. So I went back to check again if I wanted to add any sound effects or any transitions, if the transitions were okay, if I wanted to add more and all that. So I decided to add more text. So I started adding some text to the video or my content. So every picture and every video had a text that would describe something or convey a message, so that when you are watching it, you know that, oh, okay, so this is their favorite meal and it is called this, and these are the places and these are the names and all that. So On this side, I just decided to just maybe describe this as tribes and customs, because I believe that in every tribe they believe so much in their customs. Yeah, so I went back to add another text, that is the Ride and Enjoy. That was the beautiful city of Uganda. Yes, then these are the tribes and the customs. So I went back and forth to check if everything was done appropriately. So this is the beginning, where I added the beautiful landscape of Uganda. So I went through everything and I was still adding some text to it. Yes, so this is their food. Yes, that is called, so this is their food called motek. So I was just describing what the food is, I mean the name, and how it is their favorite food as well. So the whole community loves to eat this food. So as you can see, I was still typing, I was doing some changes. I needed to add some emojis to it. So I needed to zoom it so that it will be seen correctly and more precise too. And their second meal again is posho. Yes, it's also one of the traditional meals or their native food that the people of Uganda enjoys most. So as you can see in the text, that is what I was describing, conveying a message. So there were some changes that I needed to do. I needed to delete some part of it and add more to it and add more content. Or I also decided to also leave it just like that, as in posho food is one of the Uganda meals that they do enjoy. So as I was typing, I made sure that it was very, very visible, very, very accurate and precise too as well. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to edit and add more to the context. Yeah. And I also added style to it. So during my editing, I added more effect to my text and I added more animations to it, as in how I wanted to appear. Yes, if I wanted it to swell up, if I wanted it to bounce, if I wanted it to roll up or roll down. There were so many transitions, I mean animations, that I could use to convey a message. So I didn't actually make it so exaggeration. Sorry, I didn't make it so exaggerated. Sorry, yes. So that's what I wanted to say. It wasn't so exaggerating. It was something that it will be very, very pleasing or appealing when we are watching this content. Something that wouldn't be so I don't know how to put it, but it wouldn't be so out there, like the visibility wouldn't be so much. Yes, so as you can see, there's one of their drinks that is called Tonto drink. Yes, it's used to serve tourists, visitors that come to Uganda. So I was still editing. I had to leave some part out and I needed to modify the whole text. That is, I added some effects and some animations to it so that it would be so beautiful to the audience. Yes, so I had to zoom it at a point. Yes, so I had to zoom it so that it will come out clearly and very visible for everyone to see what I've actually written there. Yes, so as you can see, I was still typing, I was still adjusting the whole content. So I moved on to the dance troupe. Yes, so the dance troupe, I noticed that at a point I was using white background for my text, so I had to change the background, the black, into the other backgrounds that I have used. So I wanted transformation, I wanted uniformity in my video. And when I was also editing, I made sure that all my editing styles were the same, the animations were different, the font size were the same, the sizes were the same, everything were the same. And if I had to remove some of the texts out, if I needed to remove something, maybe it wasn't really appropriate for what I was doing, I needed to just delete everything and start all over again, so that I would make sure that what I was typing would create some humor. It would appeal to the listeners and the viewers and all that, because I got to know that we are all different in our own unique way. Some people love visualization, some people are this auditory learners and all that. So I made sure that in as much as I was texting, I was adding some effect to the content, so that you know what I am about, what the content is about, and you understand what I am conveying out to the audience. So I changed the whole text and I made it culture is indeed beautiful. And Akohili, sorry, it's a traditional troupe that is found in Uganda. Yes, and they normally use their waist to dance. So I needed to create a humor, which I said waist is indeed very, very a powerful thing. Yeah, so that was what I had in mind, but I had to change the whole humor statement. So this is what I wrote. Waist papa pow. So this is what I wrote. Yes, waist papa pow. Then I just had to put it there. Inserted at where I wanted it to be. So at a point I had to reduce the opacity of some of my texts. I mean, I think all of them. Yeah, I had to reduce the opacity. I need to make sure that it was in a straight line, and the size too, some of them too. I made sure that it was the same size and more readable and more visible, very accurate and precise, if I should say. Then I did that for the next cultural troupe. Yes, I did that for the next cultural troupe. So as you can see, I was just adjusting it so that it will be at where it's supposed to be appropriately. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I moved on to the next traditional troupe, and that is the Kamijoron, if I'm right with the pronunciation. Yes, so I first had in mind what I was supposed to write or what I wanted to write, so I had to delete more information to it. Yeah, there were a lot of information that I wrote, so I needed to make it more precise and very, very accurate and very informative too as well, and also create humor. So as you can see, I was just adjusting it so that it would be very clear and visible for people to read it out. Yeah, so I was still adjusting it, and I was still thinking if I should add more text to it or I should just leave it like that. So I think I left it like that, and I went on to the next content. So this is one of their contemporary dance, and I was checking if everything was done right and in its appropriate places. Yeah, so I went back and forth. As you can see, I went back and forth, and I got to where I wanted to edit the places that you can visit. So this is one of their beautiful mountains. Unfortunately, I can't mention the name of the mountain. Like, maybe I might be very, very wrong mentioning it, but it is Mountain Renzori. Yes, Renzori or something like that, if I'm right about it. So I did the text there. Then I went to the Great Kasubi tomb. Yes, so that is the Kasubi tomb. I went back to it to add my text. Yes. Then I went to another place that you can visit. That is the Uganda Safari. Yes. So I added my text too. I kept on adding texts. I kept on deleting some texts. I kept on making sure some of them convey a message, a very, very deep message. Some were into detail, some weren't into detail. Some I had to add some humor to it. Yes, so I went back to check if I've done everything that I wanted to do. And these are some of their infrastructures. So I went back to the infrastructures of the of my video, the content that I added to actually project that okay, Uganda had some infrastructures. Yes, so I went back and forth. As you can see, I really went back and forth of this whole content. I wanted to make sure that everything was in line. So this is what I was doing. So I needed to adjust it and make sure that it was in a straight line. So this is what I was doing. As you can see, if I wanted to change the text, I did so. If I wanted to change anything about it, I did so. Yeah. So I went back again, and this time around I checked if the inscription that I added on the content, I mean their traditional drink, that is one of their favorite drinks that they love, so I wanted to adjust everything there. And this is a banana drink. Yeah, it's called Mewege Bigere, if I'm really right about this, but it's a banana drink, and I'm very sure it will really taste very nice. Yes, so this is another content that I added on. It's a picture of their favorite meal, a traditional meal, of course. So I wanted it to come out very clearly. Yes, very clearly, so that you see what I wrote there, and it will also convey a message that this is really one of their traditional meals, and it's, as you can see, it's very beautiful and it will taste very nice. And this is moteke. Yes, one of their traditional meals as well. So I also checked if everything was correct, if I needed to adjust, if I needed to add more inscription to it. I did that. Yeah, so as you can see, I was just adjusting it. Yes, I was just adjusting it, and I checked if I wanted to add more details to it, or I wanted to delete something from the text. I had to do that. Yeah. Okay, then I went back to one of the how do I put it, like the inhabitants, what they are known best. Yes, I mean their occupational things that they do. They are known best to be farmers, so they hold agriculture in high esteem. Yeah, so then I went back and forth to check everything. So the ride and enjoy, I made it very bold. Yeah, so this is the history of Uganda, and that is their coat of arms, and their so this part was when I was trying to add the beautiful landscape of Uganda text to it appropriately at where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I was just checking if everything was correct. Yes, so I kept on going, and I kept on going. Yes, so everything was in line. Some of the text, because of the details, the sizes came very smaller, but most of them were in the same sizes. So the ones that had so much details, the sizes were the same. Yeah, because of the details. Yeah, most of them had more information to it, so the sizes had to appear very small, and some of them that had no much details appeared exactly how it's supposed to be, with the same font size, the style, the background color, and different animations and transitions to it. Yep, so I was still checking, I was still going through everything that I was doing. If there were any changes I needed to do it, as you can see, there was changes here that I needed to do it, and I was doing it. I went back. Yeah, so this is the content of their traditional drink. So I wanted to check if I needed to do some needed changes to it. So as you can see, I did some changes to it. I think the text. So I needed to delete some parts and add more information to it. Yeah. So like I needed to just make it precise. Yeah, I think the information was so much, so I needed to make it more precise and very accurate and more conveying. Yeah, so I think I ended up saying Tonto is a traditional drink from Uganda. Okay, so I went forward to their traditional troop. I think there wasn't any changes that I was supposed to do. Yep, so everything was in line with what I was doing. Yeah, so at a point I needed to delete some part of the text because I realized that the Karimojo details were so much, so I needed to reduce some of the details or some of the information there. So as you can see, I was deleting the very ending of what I wrote there. So I just changed the whole thing. Yeah, I just changed the whole thing, and I think I finally decided to write. I had a great time. Yeah, so I kept on moving further to the whole content. So I went back to it to check if everything was appropriately done. So I decided to go forward and all, but I realized that no, I needed to do something here. Yes, to make it more I don't know how to, more attractive, if I should say, because some of the contents were not in line, so I wanted it to be at the same place, in the same alignment. You get it? Yes. So these are some of their infrastructures. Yep. And these are some of the places that you can visit. That is the mountain Rwenzori. Yep. Mountain Rwenzori. Sorry, Rwenzori. So at this point too, I needed to do some changes to this very content, so that everything will be in line, like the same alignment. So that's what I did to all the videos that had so much information. So everything had to be in the same alignment. Yes. So I had to adjust it so that it will be very, very clear and laudable. So this is the Great Kasubi tomb. Sorry, that is one of the places that you can also visit when you get to Uganda. Yes, and the Uganda Safari. So at this point, I wanted to make it more hilarious. Yes, so there was so much information there. There was so much text. There was so much details. So I decided to also move on again. I think I went back to the Uganda Safari to do more editing there. Yep. So this is the beautiful city, or the beautiful landscape of Uganda. Yes. So the city is very, very beautiful. So I also made a text away, made more information to it. Yes, and I also read that love it, and learn from it. Because in as much as you are taking a trip to Uganda, you need to love the whole place. You need to live through your life and enjoy. So as you can see, I went back to the Uganda Safari. So I was still editing it. I needed to adjust it so that it will be in a straight line. Then I went back again to check if everything was done appropriately. So that is where I was still editing the Uganda Safari information that I actually put it out there. So I went back to check again if I've done it correctly, the adjustments, the font size, the animations, the style, everything. So I was just moving on. If I had to go back, I had to do so. If I had to adjust, I did so. So at a point, I noticed that I wanted all the texts to be at the same place. So if I wanted to put it at the middle, I had to do it. But I noticed that, I decided to bring it at the bottom of the content. Yes, the bottom of every picture and every video, because if I put it in the middle and you are watching, you wouldn't actually see what is there. You wouldn't actually, it will actually distract you, because you want to see what the video is about, what the picture is about. So I decided not to put it at the middle, so I just put it at the bottom. So I went back again to check if I've done everything. So as you can see, this is a snippet of the whole editing tutorials. I mean my content, or my 30-second content. So this is just a snippet of it. So just ride and enjoy with me. So beautiful people of Uganda. Yes, and their traditional drinks, some of their traditional dance, true contemporary dance that they have, their universities, their infrastructures, beautiful places you can visit, and the beautiful city. And thank you for watching.